It's your girl Elle, aka the Melanin Expat. So I'm coming back to you, officially moved. I'm in the new apartment. Definitely give you an apartment tour one day, but right now it's still kind of a mess. We haven't figured out decor and stuff like that, so that's not happening anytime soon. But anyways, I want to jump into this video with a little sit down talk with you guys. It's been a minute since I've sat down, so I definitely want to just spill some tea, share some insights, and yeah, let's get started. How to make friends in Germany. So now that summer's coming, you guys have been hibernating probably in winter, and you're realizing that in order to be outside this summer, you're gonna need some friends and you're gonna need some acquaintances, and I'm here to share how exactly to do that. So the first tip I have for finding friends in Germany would have to be using Facebook. Yes, you heard that right. So go onto Facebook and type in expats in this country, expats in this city. So for example, expats in Düsseldorf, expats in Munich, expats in Germany. You can also type in groups based on like your religion or your ethnicity. So Indians in Düsseldorf, British people in Germany. And that's also a great way to find people that maybe have some more similarities to yourself. But I would always definitely recommend doing the expats as a whole, because then you diversify your friends. Because to be honest, I tried the black group or black people in Germany, and yeah, no one really wanted to meet up. So that was like kind of unsuccessful for me. And then I tried Brits in Germany, and that was very insightful when it came to like Brexit and some certain things when it relates to British people. But I never met up with anyone from that. And then I used expats in Düsseldorf. That was really, really helpful. I met so many friends through there. But also another one that's like women orientated. So it's called GGI, Girls Gone International. I'm not sure how many cities have this group, if it's applicable to worldwide, but I know in Europe at least it's somewhat happening, it's kind of popping. And this is also really good for women who want to make friendships but not necessarily with the opposite sex, or just don't want to kind of, when I say risk meeting the opposite sex, because it can be dangerous in actuality. Or if you're in a relationship and you literally just want friendship, it's easier to kind of make a friend with someone the same sex as you, because for the most part, you know that there's probably no ill intentions. So for me, in my case, being like married or at the time being engaged, I definitely was not trying to look for anything more than that. And at the beginning, I didn't feel as confident to write like my whole intro in a expat in Düsseldorf group. So for me, I started off with the GGI group, which was Girls Gone International Düsseldorf. And through that, I met some girlfriends. And then later on, I used the like expats in Düsseldorf group. And again, I met some more friends. So of course, I want to diversify my friends. I don't want to have all girlfriends, but it's a good starting place, especially if you're alone or in a relationship or just kind of insecure. I would definitely recommend these groups. Another great thing about these groups is they have regular meetups. So they'll have like a picnic one weekend, then another time a brunch, and you can sign up to them. You can also see who's signed up. It's definitely a little bit intimidating at the beginning. So if you've not used one of these groups or you've not met someone from a group, it can be a little bit daunting, because you don't know if they're going to be a weirdo or a psycho or a serial killer or a catfish. You know, you don't know. But one thing I would always recommend is, if possible, meeting with more than one person. And if not possible, always meeting in a public place in daytime and making it a quick meetup. So even when I was meeting up with people, whether it was like a girl or a guy, I always made it really, really like easy for me to kind of get away if it didn't like go well, or we just didn't click. And I would always say like coffee or a glass of wine or a walk and a little talk. And that was always a good first meeting. And like whenever I found my tribe, it always ended up turning into like an all-day hangout. And whenever it didn't really go well, we just didn't mesh, or we were two different kind of people, it'd be like, okay, cool, after an hour or 2 hours, like, right, let's go our separate ways. And we probably didn't text each other, so it wasn't even awkward. So that would always be my first recommendation, and that's Facebook. It's the OG of social networking. I definitely would not sleep on Facebook. Okay, so my second recommendation would be to use TikTok or Instagram. I think this is a little bit harder because you don't necessarily find groups, or at least in my experience, I haven't found like random groups for expats. But what's great about like TikTok and Instagram is like based on your algorithm, you're presented with people that maybe like the same content as you, or people that are in the same city as you. So like at least when it comes to connecting with like-minded people, you might have more luck this way. I've not really used them too much, so for me it's still hard to say how successful it would be using these two platforms, but definitely I've tried TikTok. I saw someone, she was a creator, black creator. She started this kind of, it's called Lost in Translation. She started this group for black people in Europe that just wanted to connect with other black people who enjoyed traveling, networking, content creating, so many different things. And through that we were put into like a WhatsApp group, and then through that you could join different little subgroups based on your interests and hobbies. So there's like a travel group, there's a people in NRV, so North Rhine-Westphalian where I am group, there's a people in Berlin group, there's like an over 30s group, there's a mothers group or parents group. So basically to every kind of walk in life or interest that you have, there's a reading group as well. So again, I haven't met anyone off it, but like the chats have been like A1. I'm not gonna lie, it's been super funny. But yeah, let's see how this one goes. Third recommendation I would have on making friends in Germany would have to be just going outside and doing ish on your own. Like this has been actually very, very successful for me. I make a lot of friends on the streets, and sometimes it's not a good thing, but sometimes like you meet people and you end up having like great conversations, you exchange socials, and that's a friend. So I've been to cafes on my own, I've worked in a cafe on my own, and I've connected with people. I've got numbers, I've got Instagrams, and I've met them here and there for coffees. I wouldn't say they're super close friends, to be honest, because it's just been random encounters, but I've still made friends that way. I think if I pursued these friendships a little bit more and made more of an effort to kind of meet up or like reach out, I think maybe they could have been a bit more successful. I also find as well doing activities on your own. So I went to the cinema, I do like pottery classes, things like that on my own, and that's also helped to meet people. And again, because I'm in a position where I have like my husband, my little family here in the small town, and then I have already a good circle of friends, I think I'm not in a position where I'm actively seeking that, but I definitely feel like if you do some activities on your own, you're naturally going to speak to people, whether it's like the local barista at your coffee shop, or another person that's on their own, or a couple of girls, couple of guys, a group of people. Definitely recommend doing activities on your own or doing it in a small group, just because I feel like it's a little bit less intimidating. You're able to make more conversations, have more meaningful conversations with people, and long term, you know, if you put yourself out there a little bit, it kind of works. People are receptive. So the next tip I have for making friends in Germany definitely has to be German classes. This is applicable, I guess, to anyone, anywhere, doing classes, like learning the language in that country and taking the classes, because you're going to meet people that are exactly like you. So like if you take evening classes, for example, like I did, then you're going to meet other people that probably have a 9 to 5, that are also like expats, so like living here temporarily and trying to learn the local language. And that's how I met a lot of friends. Actually, German classes is an A1 method and it's proved successful, so definitely would recommend. It depends on your class, because I've definitely been to some classes or some levels when I've moved on to the next class where the people are not as sociable. Maybe they have their like head down in the books. But for the most part, I've met really cool people. And especially when you start off at like a beginner's class, like A1, A2, that's like really entry level to the language. Definitely feel like that's when you're going to make a lot of friends, because you're messing around a little bit, you're pronouncing new words, you're learning new rules, you're being a bit cheeky. So it's definitely applicable. And again, even if you're not a 9 to 5er, you're here with a partner, you're doing something else where you can take, you know, intensive classes, you can take day classes, you're still going to meet people that maybe are in a similar position to you, whether that's them being a full-time parent or them also being a student and having the flexibility. You're also going to meet people in similar walks of life as yourself. So don't sleep on your German class and go to German class. A great way to make friends in Germany is through work. I will be the first one to shout, you know, your friends, or sorry, your colleagues are not your friends. But as an expat, you can't be too picky. And I feel like the company culture and in general, the corporate culture has shifted so much. So you don't have to keep so much of yourself away from work. I think, you know, Europe is moving towards a kind of society that you can kind of show up as your authentic self, holding back a little bit, but more or less showing up as your authentic self. So for the most part, like I've made really, really great, long lasting friendships through work. Like when I think back to my first company ever in Munich, like I have people that I am still in touch with to this day. I've been to their weddings. I still wish them a Merry Christmas. I'm still wishing them happy birthdays. Whenever I'm in Munich, we still catch up. So I feel like these have really been great friendships that I've fostered. You know, I've sat in the same office as these people for like 2-3 years. You really do develop these deep, long-lasting friendships and connections. So I definitely will say that it has worked for me. Even thinking back to my second company in Germany, I've also made great friends there that I'm in touch with. And now in my current company, it's tough because you don't want to share everything, so you can't always show up as your full authentic self. But at the same time, I feel like I've made good connections that when I do leave the company, like these friendships can like continue to blossom and stay, you know, long lasting and great. So yeah, don't sleep on work friends, definitely not. Again, keeping a little bit of that to yourself, but you will know the right person when you meet them as well, because they're going to reveal things about themselves. They're going to share, you know, some personal details, and of course you only share what you're comfortable with. But still, these are always great friends, great people to do, I don't know, hikes with, great people to go on coffee dates with, great people to do sports with. So even if you don't want to go like partying with your work colleagues, you don't have to do that. But maybe some of the other activities that you enjoy, you can pick them as specific people to be friends with, to do that with. Another great way to make friends. Wait, you know what? Actually, I'm going to come back and show you. Okay, I am back. So this is a great way to make friends in Germany. So he's sighing. He is not a sociable dog at all. He literally wants to go outside or sleep, probably sleep right now. But he is a great way to make friends. And okay, maybe I wouldn't say friends, I would say acquaintances, which is a start. Acquaintances are the first step to friends. But definitely when I got him, he was a great opener. Like, number one, my German improved because I ended up having, without any choice, to speak to people and make small talk because of him. And number two, like if you go to like a dog training class or go to like dog shops or like go to dog groomers, you're gonna meet other people with dogs. You're gonna meet other people that want to play with your dog. You're gonna, or like have play dates with your dog, sorry. And that's a great opener. So like I also met a friend, funny enough, through GGI, who also had a dog. I wanted to meet her because her dog was cute. We met up, our dogs got along, and we're like besties to this day. Like she's one of my closest friends. But yeah, dog is a great way to make friends. I don't know if you can force a dog or like you can just make one happen, but rent a dog, get a dog, do whatever you can, because dogs are a great way to make friends here in Germany. They love dogs, people love dogs, so go for it. Okay, so another great way to make friends in Germany is using your German network. And by German network, I mean German people. So in any proximity, using the German people around you to make more friends that could potentially be Germans. So by that, I mean like connecting with your like German colleagues, even if they're not 100% your cup of tea. I'm not saying fake the friendship, but like just give them a chance, because maybe outside of work they introduce you to like a sports team or a group of people that you end up connecting with and making a friend through. Another great way is through your partners. So if you're dating, you're on a social media app or any dating app, you can of course like meet up with someone, go on a date with them, and if things go well, they introduce you to their friends, and that's a great way to make friends. Wouldn't 100% recommend, but it's just a way to kind of get yourself out there and kind of network. Another great way is of course if you are dating someone already that is German. So in my case, which was really smooth, my boyfriend at the time, my husband now, but my boyfriend at the time is German. He has a German friends, of course, and through him I made a lot of friends as well. I made connections. I would say most of the friends at this point are still his friends, but at the time when I first moved to Munich, it was a great starting point to just have a social life. So I went to a lot of parties with him, hung out with a lot of his work colleagues, and it was just a great way to kind of start to get myself outside and doing more social things. So it might not be the longest withstanding way to make connections, but it's just one of the many ways that you can choose to network. Another great way to make friends in Germany is just doing the things that you love. So I think it's kind of similar to going outside and doing activities on your own. But when I say doing the things that you love, so if you're creating content, if you're into like reading, if you're into like working out, eating healthy, you're a mother, like find activities that make sense for you, do them, and through that you will naturally meet people. So I met people on social media that I became friends with because I was posting at the time like regularly on Instagram, and I just looked for other black creators and we just networked and things like that. We worked on some projects together, so that was a great way to just network, get friendships. Also, for instance, I did like a marathon at one point in Munich. That was also a great way to meet people. You're training, you're running the marathon. That's also a great way to get yourself outside regularly, meeting people, doing something that you genuinely have passion for. So like, even if you're not maybe the most sociable or outgoing person, you naturally have kind of affinity towards that thing because you enjoy doing that on your own. So definitely would recommend. Those are all my tips on making friends in Germany. It's definitely not for the weak-minded. You definitely have to put yourself out there. That's one thing I've 100% learned over my 6-7 years of living in Germany. You definitely have to be a bit more outgoing. I'm personally, when like in a big setting, more reserved, so I won't be the first one to say, hey guys, like who wants to meet up? But I learned that when I do that, when I post my little intro in the group, I get so many messages, so many people reaching out, and it's just a great way to kind of initiate that. And sometimes it might not be the case, like on this WhatsApp group that I'm now in with like a bunch of black people. It's amazing, the chats are great, but like I posted recently about meeting up and like not one person responded. So it's kind of like disheartening at times, but you just have to continue to do it, because through doing those actions, that's how you made friends. If I never posted in these groups, if I never looked for these groups, if I never reached out to people on social media, I wouldn't have half, not even a third of the friends that I have now. So definitely put yourself out there, do the things you love, and just keep trying until you find your tribe. You know, there are people exactly in the same position as you, looking for like-minded people to connect with, looking for people to hang out with, looking for people to do sports with, to cook with, to talk shit with, you know. So literally put yourself out there and you will eventually find your tribe. Good luck.